All right, what do we have? An eclectic group of people. Yes.
You want to just dive into it?
Yeah.
All right.
What do you have for me?
Are the Jets winning the Super Bowl? Yes or hell yes?
Okay. The over-under for Jets wins this season. Todd,
Can we go higher than 17?
Todd, I'll start with you. Well, if you include the playoffs. Todd?
I'm going to go 10.5.
All right, Seton?
17.
17, okay. They're going undefeated. Well, you're all in on Aaron Rodgers now. You've done a 180 on Aaron Rodgers.
Okay, poll question number 2. Is Aaron Rodgers the greatest teammate ever? Yes, hell yes.
Marvin, how many wins over under Jets?
9.5.
Bloop, 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 bloop.
Nailed it.
Yep, you nailed it here. Let's see. Aaron Rodgers, MVP odds. He has the 8th best odds to win the MVP. All right. Let's see. And you can have an over-under on how many points they average this year. What do you think the over-under, according to DraftKings, on the Jets, how many points will they average per game? Todd?
23.5.
Marvin?
22.5.
Seton?
24.5.
Paulie?
26.5.
24.
Ooh, no half.
And a half.
No half.
And a half.
No half. But, that's they projected this out, total points. They would average about 24.3 points per game. What's the poll question? The other one, Seton, that don't relate to the Jets.
Well, this one's still Jets related. Is Chaz Surratt winning Defensive Player of the Year? Yes, hell yes.
Wait, who was that?
Exactly.
Okay.
Some random middle linebacker that showed up last night, but
my God.
Robert Saleh was all over. I love this dude. This is my dog. I love this guy. Look how fast he is.
Okay,
You don't even know if he's going to make the team or not.
We did this with the Lions last year at this time. We're like, man, I'm all in on the Lions. They're going to go to the playoffs. And they almost did. But the Jets, the over-under at 9.5. So, I mean, just imagine you go under and you go 9-8. Well, you're not making the playoffs. Even if you go 10-7, you might not go to the playoffs this year. As I've talked about extensively, the schedule is really difficult here. Start with your division, and it might just be one team out of the AFC East. And the odds-on favorite would be the Buffalo Bills. You remember when Miami was, 8-1 last year? And then Tua got hurt? Miami's a really good team. And New England is going to be average. They'll be generic. And then you'll have the Jets. But I always think that we get to the party a year earlier than we should. It's like, man, they're a Super Bowl or bust. I'll be like, how about we get to, let's make the playoffs, maybe win the division. And it comes down to everybody wants to avoid going to Kansas City. If you're a wild card team like Cincinnati, you want to win the division. You don't want to be going to Kansas City to play that playoff game and trying to figure out who's going to run away with their division, and then Kansas City has to come to your place. Those are the things that I'm looking at as we get ready to, start the regular season. Yeah, Paulie.
That's why that Bengals story yesterday about, we don't have to worry that much about September. Are you kidding? I mean, the Bengals won 12 games last year. They won their last 8. They remember that thing with home field advantage and the DeMar Hamlin game and all that stuff? The home field advantage at AFC was one of the bigger topics in the sport last year.
So, Seton, are you all in on Aaron Rodgers now? Like, what has changed with you and Aaron Rodgers?
Well, I don't know if I was a massive Aaron Rodgers hater.
Okay.
Although he does rub me the wrong way sometimes, or he had been.
Okay.
I don't know. There's just something about his demeanor now. Like, just watching him say, I think that this is going to be a great thing for him, Hard Knocks.
Okay.
Because when you watch him talk to, like, Sauce Gardner and he's on the sideline, he's like, yeah, man, someday you're going to be here. Just the way he's relating to him. Or Zach Wilson's making fun of Aaron Rodgers because he doesn't have any biceps to show off or something.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just cool. I don't know. It just... Maybe he's been humanized a little bit more, or you just get a little bit, other than the random sound bites of him being like, don't ask me about this controversial thing or whatever, or he's going after people. There's just another side of him that you're getting to see that he seems kind of awesome.
Yeah, there's a rebirth here.
Yeah.
There's almost I know this is going to end soon. Appreciate it. Enjoy it for all it's worth. And I think Brady did that in Tampa. I think it was so much business. There's no joy. You're winning. And then all of a sudden, you go to Tampa Bay, and it's like, whew, let me exhale here. We can have some fun down here. Boy, this team's good defense here. You know what? All they need is some good quarterbacking play. Bruce Arians, the head coach, and we can be a Super Bowl contender. Because at the time we thought, all right, he's going to go to Tampa. How good is Tampa? And then we saw how good they – but Brady brought in that spirit to this younger group, and they're like, oh, my God, that's Tom Brady there. And I think that's what you're getting with the Jets. But after a while, you got to stop being enamored with Aaron Rodgers. You have to hold up your end of the bargain. It's like players would watch Michael Jordan play who were on his team, and you can't do that. Players would watch Kobe. You're watching the greatest players of all time, and you're like, damn, I'm supposed to be playing here.
That players are watching Messi right now.
Yes.
They pass him the ball, and then they're like, oh, my God, there he goes.
Yeah, man, he's really good. Whack. Oh, he just passed it to me. I didn't see it coming. Yes, Eden.
I think rebirth is the right word, though. And, yeah, Tom Brady is a easy comparison, but it's, like, totally accurate because everything around Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers, when they were leaving the teams that they were known for, it felt so heavy.
Yeah.
There was always this heaviness to it, and then they go to these new, younger teams, and all of a sudden everything is super light, and it's just fun.
Yes, Todd.
Yeah, the enamored thing that you're talking to, we saw some of that with Garrett Wilson last night in the debut of Hard Knocks. He's kind of hanging out with him, but part of him's like, I watched you when you were a little kid. Like, how do you do what you do? You're great.
I was 7 when you won the Super Bowl.
Just run a stop and go, okay? I have no time for this.
Yes, Paulie.
I did feel bad for Zach Wilson yesterday because he's still on the roster. And I know this is probably a good thing for Zach Wilson's career. He gets to sit on the Rodgers, blah, blah, blah. But people are just lauding over the pass. Like he'd make a pass to a 20-yard out. People are going, woo! And some guy goes, I haven't seen that in a while. You can hear him going, I haven't seen that in a while.
It's okay. That's still a great storyline for me,
Yep.
Zach Wilson. And the first person on screen, nobody had Joe Namath. But the first current Jet on screen?
That's the question, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Todd?
I don't know if it was Rodgers or was it Sauce. I'm trying to remember who the first current.
I thought they went from Joe Namath to Aaron Rodgers. Yes, Marv.
I think it was Aaron Rodgers shaking Robert Sala's hand.
Oh.
I think.
Whose hand did they show first?
Oh.
I mean, technically, whose feet were there?
Who?
By the way, Salah's got to wear short sleeves, man. You do put all that work in the gym, and you're wearing those long sleeve blousey shirts.
Yeah.
But let the guns fly.
Yeah, you got to have a gun show there.
I like that they're making fun of Zach Wilson for showing off his guns. He's got the short sleeves of his jersey tucked up, so he's showing off his guns, and they're making fun of him. And he was just like, "Well, the guy ahead of me doesn't have anything to show off, so I got to stand out a little bit."
All right.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Everything's good.
Go ahead, man.
Everything is good.
Flex on them.
No worries with the Jets this
Super
year.
Bowl or bust.
Yeah. Yeah. Who will get more hype this year, more coverage this year, more attention this year? The Jets or the Cowboys? Mm-hmm.
The Jets.
You think?
Yeah, I think there's just so much hype around them.
I don't know.
And we fall for the banana in the tailpipe with the Cowboys every single year.
But there aren't enough Jets fans the way there are too many Cowboy fans.
Wait. This year?
Let's see how long they stay on the bandwagon there. Yes, Eden.
I think we have to differentiate from hype versus overcovered.
Yeah.
Because the Jets are going to get a monstrous amount of hype. The Cowboys are going to be overcovered.
Cowboys are always overcovered.
Correct.
It's like, okay, what do we talk about? Dak's interceptions, or Mike McCarthy wants to run the ball, or Jerry says it's a Dak-friendly offense now. If he just played like at the Kirk Cousins level, if he gave you that, you're probably going to be an NFC title game contender. I mean, you're not asking much out of Dak Prescott. Just, hey, when they say, hey, don't make mistakes, that's not the best kind of confidence builder. Or when Mike McCarthy goes, you know what, we want to run the ball more. What? In today's NFL, with the money you spend on your receivers and your quarterback, and you got an offensive lineman who's holding out, and you go, I'd like to run the ball more. Yes, Mark.
The Jets this year are the Bills last year, where the hype around them was, hey, opening night, Rams, Bills, potential Super Bowl matchup.
And then the Rams got smoked.
Correct. And then, okay, let's go Bills.
Okay, so have we moved on from the Bills?
I think
This
that-
could be a good thing that we're not thinking as much about the Buffalo Bills. Or the focus is, well, Josh Allen MVP, Buffalo Bills Super Bowl contender. They haven't gotten as much coverage the Jets have dwarfed everybody. Yes, Pauline.
Yeah, Rodgers is the new flavor. The Jets are getting overcovered because it's new, it's fresh, it is a fresh story. But the Bills, if they had 13 wins last year, bowed out with a kind of a whimper. If that happens again this year, they're going to be a big topic in December and January with their coach.
Yes, Todd.
If we think the Jets and Cowboys are having a similar amount of attention or coverage, wait till you see what happens when one of those teams gets off to a slow start. That's when we're going to really see things get a little crazy. If Rodgers starts tanking early or the Cowboys get off to a slow, it's going to be all about that team.
No, but it doesn't matter. If they start out 3-0 or 0-3, they're going to get the same amount of coverage. The Cowboys 0-3 or 3-0, they still get the coverage. It's like, what's wrong with the Cowboys? Or 3-0, can they continue this? What are they doing differently? The Jets. Was it too much to ask too soon for this team to be a Super Bowl contender? Hey, they're the team to beat in the AFC. That's what's going to happen. I've been in these meetings at SportsCenter when they go, okay, how can we go back in on that topic that we've been going in on for the last 6 weeks? We got a new angle here. What's the new angle here? Yeah, Paul.
I think that's self-defeating for media. Overcovering the Cowboys, there's nothing new. They're not really a threatening team, and it's the same storyline of expectations with not much production. We're like 20 years into this. I think the Vikings are more interesting. The Lions are more interesting.
Yeah, but we're over. No, I don't. That's not true. They might be more interesting, but understand the programming aspect here.
Believe me, I understand it, but I don't want to buy into it. I don't want to participate.
Well, we don't do that.
Yeah.
But there have to be metrics that ESPN and Fox that go, okay, what are the topics people want to hear? Or if you're going through the channels and you see Dak, elite quarterback, people will tune into that.
True, but I think you're really alienating the rest of your fan base as a media organization, as us or anybody, if you don't talk about those other teams. And I think it's dangerous. I know ratings.
They've been doing this. This is what they do every single day.
Yeah.
There has to be something. It's formulaic that they go, okay, you got to talk about Dallas. You got to talk about Aaron Rodgers. You got to talk about LeBron. There's like 5 topics that you have to touch on, or at least try to touch on every single day. Do they warrant this? The Cowboys are a really good team. And you got an owner who has been desperate to win one without Jimmy Johnson. And you got a quarterback that nobody's, all in on. So you got some great storylines, and then you got the history there, the tradition. I'm surprised the Steelers don't get as much attention given their fan base, because that's still, you look at these fan bases that started in the 70s and 80s with success, the Niners, that you would think they'd have a lot more attention because there's a bigger fan base, but nobody compares to the Dallas Cowboys. Yes, Marv.
Yeah, the Steelers are in that what I like to call the neutral site teams, where no matter where they go on the road, it might damn well be a neutral site game because half of the crowd might be Steelers fans.
Yeah.
I did Steelers-Patriots about 2 years ago.
Yeah.
They scored a touchdown. Yeah! Damn, are we in Pittsburgh or Foxborough?
Yeah.
And so you're right about that completely.
Yeah, but as far as programming, Steelers, you're not getting eyeballs or you're not getting people listening to your program. And that's where it's skewed sometimes, that the good stories don't get covered because they get dwarfed by the stories that, there's more people who are interested in those teams, those storylines. Instead of doing your job and saying, hey, I don't want to be preaching, right? And I am. You try to do it in a way that you're being fair, equitable to certain teams, certain players, certain moments, instead of how do we get the Cowboys into the show? Yes, Paul.
I think one of my favorite storylines this year is the 49ers. They were by far the best team in football last year on paper. They outscored their opponents by 173 points with Garoppolo and Brock Purdy, not even like 2 average quarterbacks. And now they go into a season with 3 question marks at quarterback. That's a fascinating story. Like they're the best defense in football and a fantastic offensive skill set. It's really interesting.
Well, it comes down to their head coach is going to make who is ever the quarterback better than what he really is. And it'd help if you got Nick Bosa into camp as well. This happens every year where you get these teams the Cowboys, without Zach Martin. He's not the guard that he used to be, but still, if you're Dak Prescott, you want to have as many guys up front that you can count on. You got to have a really good running back in there.